Hello, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au and welcome to part one of my observations about January 2025. Part one always looks back at the month that just was, so in this case it's December 2024. On my website, psychicandenergywork.com.au, on the observations about this month page, you will read in the first section a little bit about last month. It was a powerful time. We had 4 master numbers all up, and a lot of last month was talking about getting us to more clarity, more freedom in terms of where we had been as a position, as a model, as a projection. So to the degree that last month helped to clarify dynamics for you in a way that you sort of walked free, well done. So understanding again, there are a couple of paragraphs on the website that allude to last month. What I wanted to focus on here is the specific numerology for December 2024. When we're looking at numbers and phases, there are 2 levels of numbers that we can be aware of. There is the numbers that pertain to a period, as in a month, every time it comes around every year. And that level of reading matters. But if we combine the year with the specific month and vice versa, we also get a specific level of numerological chart for the period we're in. So December 2024, on a specific numerological level, brought 3 very powerful numbers that all in one level spoke of the same thing. We had a birth number of 20362, so that passed through 11 on its way to 2, making it a master number. We had an MO of 140, which reduces to 5, and because it had a 0 in it, that also is a master number. Then lastly, the reality number for December 2024, it was 2176, which reduced through 16 on its way to 7. That too is a master number. So what am I talking about? 20362 adding through 11 speaks of big picture confrontation time. Now, that doesn't always mean that it's going to be horrible or jarring. Yeah, often it can be, simply because that's often like how we learn is often through what we don't know yet, what isn't quite right. And so master numbers can introduce moments that are out of the blue, unexpected. Where did that come from? Not only on a very surface level, but I don't understand why I just lived that. How did I deserve that? Life's wrong. And so master number periods, especially when there are a few master numbers popping up, can really see us at first, whether that's for a couple of seconds or a couple of days or even months or whatever, it can see us initially catapulting into a little bit of victim or, indignance or, you versus me, black versus white, right versus wrong. And on one level, that is the purpose of a master number, because those dynamics are quite karmic. They help us, or at least they extend the invitation, the opportunity for us to get in touch with our spiritual side, the essence of what is happening, why it is happening for everybody's good, including our own. And implicit in that is usually a little bit of learning about how we have contributed to a dynamic, to a situation, ignorantly usually, unconsciously often, but in a way that all of a sudden life is trying to show us so that we step more into our adult, more into our conscious awareness of what spiritual being and adult being really is. Now, because 2036 was last month's, as in December 2024's birth number, that's telling us that the universe wanted us to step into our adult selves, our conscious selves, our responsibility-taking selves in a way that's not just about the past or the present, it's also about the future. So 1111 can be very much a time when the universe goes, you know what, a lot of what happens next is down to you. What is the choice you're going to make about what you channel, what you represent, what you want, and therefore what you're aiming for as a focus, as an intention, but also as a set of responses and behaviours now. And so one can also be grow up time. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. Hello, it can always be put like that. But, no number is about being nasty or catty or just criticising negative. Every dynamic, every second is trying to pinpoint the way for each of us on a very unique level to step into the more of the good that is all for everyone's benefit. So what we were here to come to last month was a little bit more clarity around me. Not necessarily me, but our me, each and every one of our me, in a way that is about, I know who I am. I know how I've contributed and created to that next degree, whatever it is. And because of that, I'm now able to really understand how life is inviting me into the next level of me moving forward as an affirming, an empowering, an enabling, and a respecting, an all-embracing, all of life embracing and nurturing dynamic. The double one leads to two, which is relating well, positioning well, exchanging well, coexisting well. And of course, we need all of the former bits to actually exist well together, don't we? So that's that bit about the birth number of 2024's December. The MO, which tells us always how we're going to get to that birth number dynamic more. For last month, it was a 140, which reduced to 5. Now, that 0, as I mentioned before, always indicates a double dose of invisible stuff, spiritual and personal development, increased awareness of the universe and how it plays a part in everything that happens, no matter how much we get to choose or decide. 5, the end point is change. It's grow, and therefore, again, it can be read as grow up, as in become the next level of adult, of divine, of spiritual in walking, talking form, delivery form. 5 is change, it's evolve, it's stretch. 5 is what's possible, not only because it's what's possible that we can envisage and delight in as we move towards it, but also what's possible as determined by Source in terms of what it's now ready for creation to become. And of course, with us all being part of creation, that includes all of us as individual choosers, deciders, journeys, and responses. And so do you see how those two numbers so far, they reinforce one another? They also reinforce the fact that December really was a time to cut through, to make sense of, and a period, therefore, that really wanted to show us some things to get us ready to act now, moving forward, in perhaps a better adjusted way, even if it was only 0.000 of a millimetre. That still is evolution in a good sense. The last number in December 2024's specific chart was a 21767, and 2176 goes through 16. 167 is very much a karmic number, as are the other two I've just run through. At 167, life can often just turn the dial, even if it's really brilliant to begin with, even if a person is really well in balance, taking responsibility, living spiritually, all those sorts of words. 167 can come along in a way that it corrects our positions, our stances, so that we remain on path, perhaps even get back to path in a universal sense. And what I mean by that is on a level that the universe is aware of, but not necessarily the individual just yet. So you see how, again, all of these numbers are speaking of corrective action, a correcting, amending, developmental, educational, enlightening time. And to the degree that you had a month like December, as I did, not necessarily because it was hugely in this fashion, but December was due to have adjustments. It was due to trigger adjustments that human beings, if they took those opportunities, would then be able to harness and run with into this new year. 16/7 is always about getting everybody back onto the coordinates that life, or the life that was given to them, is all about. And so again, it is corrective. It is about balance. 16/7 above all the other numbers is balance, and therefore regaining balance on a big picture level, on a universal level, but also very much on an individual, personal level, in a way that can vary for each and every one of us. So I hope this video goes a little bit further in explaining and placing last month for you. Please get in contact if at this point of this new year you're ready to develop intuitively, personally, spiritually, or if you want help with any level of invisibility. All the very best to you. Move on to part 2 of my observations, which will talk very much about January's birth number, 2025. Thanks for tuning in.